here we go.
I hope Yanni is not first. That could be a problem.
No. All right. Okay. I'm gonna start the trailer.
Okay.
Now. Here we go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna turn off my. There we go. Okay, we are now officially live. There is a little bit of a delay, so if team in Zoom, if you are watching on YouTube, it may be a little bit confusing. But we do recommend that everyone here in our Zoom room go hang out with the people over in YouTube as well. Is it a black screen for everyone in here?
I'm gonna play the trailer now.
Oh, I'll shush.
It's a great place where I saw local entrepreneurs give it their best.
It's Shark Tank if everybody was a nice person.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is their valuable input in terms of how we can improve our pitch deck, how we can better present.
It's a fantastic gathering of minds where people are able to share openly and connect.
Safe, comfortable, fun, and educational environment for everyone in the community.
It has to be the best place for you to go find opportunities and network.
Thank you so much, Isabel. So exciting. I love that. All right, so welcome everyone to Amplify Live Pitch. This is our second Amplify of 2021, I believe is the year. So really excited to be here, whether you're watching live right now or if you're watching later. Please do make sure to jump in the chat, introduce yourselves, talk away. I'm going to remind you as we go along as well. But we're really excited to be here. And I, by the way, am Melanie. I am one of the co-founders and managing partners at Volition. I will be your host here today. So before we get started, what we like to do is to have our pitchers here today. So everyone who's pitching their startup here today, if you can put your hands in the air so everyone can see who you are. Everyone pitching here today, if you could put your hands in the air. Arthur, Arthur. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we have 5 pitchers here today from, I think, 4 different locations in the world. Really excited. We've got everything from Vancouver, Kelowna, London, Montreal. I think those are the ones. Yes. So really excited to have all of you here today. So our pitchers who are here, our panelists who are here today, if you can put your hands in the air as well so we can see who you are. There you go, Paul and Frida, and we're going to introduce you to them a little bit more in just a moment. Team Volition, where's Team Volition? Paul, you're also Team Volition. Yeah, you have dual roles here today. Alrighty, so really excited. I think we're gonna share our screen at this point in time, unless I'm forgetting something at this moment. I don't think I am. Sharing screen. Yep. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so again, welcome to Amplify Live Pitch. So here at Volition, we build capacity, connectivity, and knowledge within global startup ecosystems. And we do this through kind of 3 core pillars. One is partner programs, which can look like anything like masterminds or coaching programs or full kind of 6-week, 8-week modular kind of programs around kind of ideation to scaling, really. So we cover lots of different really exciting things within our partner programs. We also have coaching. So we do one-on-one as well as kind of smaller startup group coaching, I guess, with any one of our 10 advisors who all specialize in a different kind of common knowledge gap or pain point within the entrepreneur journey. So anything from pitch and presentation, like you'll hear here today, as well as sales, marketing, valuation, customer success, lots of different exciting things. And then we also do community events, which you are part of here today. So this is our 102nd pitch event, it looks like, down at the bottom. So our 102nd pitch event, our 3rd Amplify event, and really excited to be here because these Amplify Live events really came out of the past year of all the things that we've all been through. And in talking to our community and hearing kind of with COVID, but also with that kind of startup journey, it's always really great to get that amplification, to get in front of your customers, to get in front of potential investors, to get in front of potential team members. The people here that are pitching here today have lots of different things that they're looking for, which we're going to share with you. So this is who Volition is, and I think that's that. Okay, so what to expect with the next kind of hour and a half of your life. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can connect with each other. We realize that in a virtual space, has become more difficult. And even with like the shift from doing it within a Zoom space to YouTube, there's different kind of ways that we can connect with each other. And we're going to do our absolute best to make that possible for you. And also, please do give us feedback. And if you've seen something really cool at another event and you're like, hey, this would work well at this event, do let us know. We would absolutely love that. We're also going to do introductions of our panelists here today. And then we'll have our pitches. So we have 5 different pitchers, as I mentioned earlier. They're each going to present to you their 3-minute pitch. And then they are going to get feedback from our 2 expert pitch feedback panelists. And then at the end of the 5 different pitches, you're going to have an opportunity to vote on the top pitch of those 5, who we have some different prizes from some of our partners for that. And then we'll wrap up. I don't have much to say about the wrap up. It's just kind of a standard wrap up. Let's connect. Isabel, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, so hello, I'm Isabel. I'm the Community Events Coordinator for Volition. So just want to touch on how you can connect today with everyone in the room. So the Volition team, as well as all the pitchers, are in the YouTube chat. So make sure to say hi, say where you're calling in from. And we're going to be putting in all the contact information for each of our pitchers when they're pitching, so that you can connect with them. So also make sure that if you want to then pop your LinkedIn into there and get to know everyone. That's our way of having some networking during our event. And then Buzzit is one of our partners. They're a non-downloadable platform that you can use to connect with attendees and pitchers during the event as well as afterwards. So if you want to go on to buzzit.ca and enter in Amplify Feb, this is how you connect with all the pitchers. We have our sponsors up there as well. And it's also how we will be voting on our top pitch. So buzzit.ca is how you can connect there. And then on socials, so we're on all the socials. So mostly this is Volition. I believe on LinkedIn, we're just Volition, Facebook, we're Volition Advisors. So make sure to give us a follow. If you're tweeting or doing any Instagram stories, you can use the hashtag #AmplifyLivePitch. We will be live tweeting and doing live stories as well throughout the event. And also while you're here on our YouTube page, we would really appreciate a like and a subscribe as well. And we're trying to get to 100 subscribers so that we can have our own URL. So help us get to that. So click the subscribe button. It's right beside where you are now. Back to you, Mandy.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Alrighty, so we'd like to thank our very generous sponsor, Pivot and Pilot Creative. So they help food, beauty, and wellness brands stand out and capitalize on their first impression through branding, as well as e-commerce solutions and packaging design. You can go check them out at pivotandpilot.com or on the socials. We've had the honor and privilege to work with Pivot and Pilot on our own new rebranding, which you can kind of see. If you go to our website, just ignore that because things happen. But as of right now, you can see our beautiful new branding all over the place on our socials, here on our deck. We're really excited about the work that we did with them. They really kind of helped us capture who we become, because obviously as a company and kind of a 5-year-old company, I think 3 to 5 years, depending on how you count it, things always change. And so we've grown and evolved, and they helped us kind of capture that through our branding. It was really fantastic to work with them. You can also see an interview that I did with Rebecca, who's the co-founder of Pivot and Pilot, on YouTube, as well as IGTV. Next, please. Alrighty, so our feedback panel. Really excited to have, of course, Paul, my business partner and an incredible pitch coach here today, as well as Frida, who I met back in 2018, I think, in Amsterdam. And really appreciated working with Frida over the last few years on some different projects. So I'm going to invite Paul first, if you want to jump in and introduce yourself.
Well, sure. Hello, everybody. So for those that don't know me, as Melanie alluded to, my name is Paul, and I am one of the co-founders, the other co-founder. Well, no, I guess I'm one of the co-founders. We had another at one point. One of the co-founders and managing director of Volition. And I am a 20 plus year entrepreneur now at this point, and have about 14, 15 years of fundraising and pitching and investor prep experience. So I take all of that knowledge and culmination into helping others. So I'm really big on knowledge sharing and helping others in their journey. So that's what brings me here today.
Thank you, Paul. Frida.
Thank you very much, Marianne and Paul and everybody else, the startups and excited to pitch today. Of course, I'm Frida Ntalangwe, as you may have heard, and I am the managing partner of ZD Circle and also the founding partner, actually. And at ZD Circle, we promote inclusive entrepreneurship and financing for the diaspora across the globe. That means diaspora entrepreneurs and SMEs in Africa. And we do this by facilitating business training, mentorship, funding, partnerships between diaspora and SMEs. And actually, Mel has been a really instrumental person in our pitching. So that's really great. Some of our programs include semi-annual diaspora entrepreneurship program, bootcamp, and the ZD Diaspora Fund that is investing in diaspora entrepreneurs and African SMEs. So yeah, that's it about me. And I'm happy to hear the pitches. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Frida. Alrighty. Paul, do you want to go over our pitch rewards?
Yeah, so the main purpose of this entire event is Volition has done a lot of work over the years to build up a large international community. We have a large community of investors, of connectors, of people of influence. And so our job in part is to amplify the entrepreneurs in the community. So it's really about, at the end of the day, it's about pushing out your message. And we do a lot of that work. So we're the megaphone for that. So we make sure that we post this on all our channels. We're going to post everybody's pitches up and what their asks are. And we're going to do all of that amplification. So that's a huge benefit and bonus of these events. Just being here and getting that that benefit is amazing. In addition, the top pitch for today will receive an IG Live interview or blog feature. Some people aren't as comfortable with IG Live. It might surprise you, I'm not super excited always to be on camera, so I can understand. So you can always take the blog feature if you prefer that. And then you also win a advisory session with either Melanie or myself on whatever you might need in those regards. In addition, our friends over at Pivot and Pilot have also put forward a brand strategy session and marketing SWOT analysis. So they'll help you analyze your market. If it's something you haven't done before, they can take a look at your brand strategy going forward and into the future, which is something that a lot of entrepreneurs necessarily have time for at the very beginning, or have really thought about, years into the future. And then in addition, our friends over at Bond and Born, which is a leadership coaching firm, particularly our friend there, Gordon, has put forward a one-on-one advisory session with him for leadership coaching, which I worked with him early last year. I was kind of struggling through some things. And within like 2 months, he was able to come in and work with me on a weekly session basis. And it was amazing. It was transformative, to be honest. So really excited for you guys to get that as well.
All righty. Thank you so much, Paul. Okay. All right. So excited to let's let the pitches begin, as they say. So we are going to start with Verdi, and actually I don't know if it's already in the YouTube chat. but we're going to post the order of who's going to be pitching here today. So to start us off, I am going to invite Arthur Chen, who's the co-founder and CEO of Verity, up to the pitch stage. Arthur is joining us from Vancouver here today, and some exciting news about Verity is that they're going to be showcased at the World Agritech Innovation Summit in March. So if you want to know more about that and about what that means and how to be a part of that and how to cheer on Arthur and their team, feel free to ask him, or maybe we'll hear about it in the pitch. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. So Arthur, you're very welcome to the stage. Essentially, as soon as you're ready, feel free to share your screen, take a deep breath. In the meantime, I think we're going to ask anyone who's not pitching to turn off their video, I believe. Yes? Isabel?
Cool.
Yes? Okay, perfect. Okay, so then Arthur, yeah, when you're ready, just share your screen and start going, and we'll start the clock for the 3 minutes. And we'll let you know when you're up. So Yanni, if you could also turn off your video, and then we can get going here.
Sounds great. Thank you, Melanie, for the introduction, and nice to meet everyone here. Really excited to be here at Amplify today, and we're looking forward to share more about Verity. So I'm going to share my screen first. Let's see if that works again. Perfect. Can everyone see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for joining once again. My name is Arthur, and I'm a co-founder at Verity. And we're helping farmers to customize nutrition for every plant in their fields using intelligent swarms of irrigation valves that we deploy to fields. And the reason we're doing this is because, just like humans, every plant has unique growing requirements. But the technology available to farmers forces them to give every plant the same amount of water and fertilizer. That's actually not just inefficient, but it actually creates defects in crops, which you can see in any standard satellite analytics, like the one we have here, where in a single field, there's an area of low yield, which is dark red, and there's an area of low quality, which is dark green here. Now, for a farmer, what you want to achieve instead is uniform quality and yield across your entire field, which can help you unlock up to 25% more revenue. And that's the opportunity that we help farmers achieve. We start by identifying the underperforming areas of the field by satellite analytics. Then using that, we deploy swarms of tiny AI-enabled valves to break down the field into small, hyper-precise sections. And finally, we're building the software to predict the optimal water and fertilizer to deliver to each of those little sections of the field. And with this final image on the right-hand side, you can see that after just one growing season, we helped our first customer to achieve uniform crop quality and growth rate across their field. Here's the smart valve that makes that 10x increase in precision possible. And one thing is, when you have 10x increase in precision, that also means that you need 10x the number of valves. That becomes a management burden, and that's why we're also building the software to take the complexity out of that process. And we're working towards building an irrigation model for every type of crop and soil type that it grows on. Since launching in March of last year, we've completed a paid pilot with Canada's largest wine company, which we're currently expanding with. And we also have $50,000 in new commitments in the pipeline that we're converting soon, including a pilot with the world's largest wine company, E&J Gallo, which is also our first Fortune 1000 sized customer. We target specialty crops, which is any fruit, nut, or vegetable, starting by optimizing irrigation in North America. And as we expand, we're going to work with distribution partners to expand globally overseas. What makes us stand out is that we can eliminate the natural variability of crop yield and quality, and we take the complexity out of that through the technology that we're building. We also seamlessly integrate all of this value into existing farmer workflows, and we resell insights from our data to other players in the value chain. We're a team of engineers who met at UBC, and we actually all come from agricultural backgrounds, which is part of why we're so passionate about the space. We bring experience from big tech and top Silicon Valley startups, and we've also built a world-class team of mentors who have extensive experience in agribusiness as well as tech. So we just closed an oversubscribed pre-seed round. So right now we're looking for partners and engineers to join us. Thank you very much for listening.
Very nice, Arthur. Thank you so much for sharing here today.
Thank you.
I think we're going to have you stop sharing your screen, I believe.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much, Arthur. I feel like your pitch has changed since I last saw it, so I'm really keen to hear what the feedback is this time around. So I know Paul has lots of experience providing feedback here at the Volition pitch event, so I'm going to put him in the hot seat first, and then we'll jump over to Frida.
I was really worried that you were going to do that because I am struggling, and in a good way. Arthur, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
I hate that Melanie put me in the hot seat because I'm actually really struggling. I don't really have anything. You really kind of ticked all my boxes. You filled all my buckets. I heard about the team. I heard about your business model. I heard about your future pipeline. Honestly, Melanie, maybe you can go to Frida first and see if she has any feedback, because maybe something will come up as she's talking.
Sure,
I'm not sure.
He's speechless. All righty, Frida, how about yourself?
Well, I mean, that was a fantastic pitch. It was very clear. You started with the why, you know, the need for it. And you know, the problem, not tech. You have come up with a software that you know tackles these problems. Of course, you talked about revenues and big pipeline. So maybe to hand, I would like to hear or understand your revenue model. It doesn't come out to me strongly. What's the revenue model actually?
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not supposed to answer questions usually, but because. Oh, yes. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think because because there's not a lot coming from Paul's side of the room. If you want to take a moment and answer that, we do have some time.
Got it. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for the comments and feedback, everyone. But in terms of revenue model, I did take out a slide that was dedicated to that. But basically, we work as a hardware as a service, basically charging a flat subscription fee for the whole system, the hardware and the software included in that.
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that. All right. That okay. Yeah, no, I think that's really interesting. So what's your thoughts on that, Paul?
I think that was really the only thing. Frida nailed it. That's really the only thing that was unclear to me. So if there's, for the future, if there's some way that you can kind of sneak that in somehow, I know 3 minutes you're kind of under the gun, but certainly like if you get a 5-minute pitch opportunity, you can certainly include that in there. Yeah, if you can find some way of sneaking that in there and just making that part clear. I think it did. So here's the flip side that I'll say to this is that I think it did a really good job, and you've oversubscribed your round, so you're not really worried about necessarily the fundraising part of this now. Now it's, I would assume now it's selling the story and trying to convince obviously partners and future teammates, right? Like having them believe in the story. So I think it does a really good job of that. And I think what it ultimately did, even if I'm looking at it from an investor's perspective, is that I look at this and I go, this is a conversation I want to continue. So it's very clear to me that this is doing its job really well. So fantastic job. And I've seen your pitch a while ago. I want to say it was like a year ago, I think. And it has certainly changed and improved since then. So congratulations, way to go!
Yeah,
thank you very much on your progress. That's great.
I don't even think it was that long ago. I think it just feels like a year ago. Maybe. Yeah.
It was 3 months ago. Feels like 3 years ago. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard it before, and it's so nice and it's so clear, and he knows what it's going for. He had a very clear ask. So well done, Heather, and your team.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
July we saw. And Arthur, there's a question for you in the chat asking, are you looking for investment at this time? And so you want to head over there and answer their question. Otherwise, before I invite up our next pitcher, I would love to hear from you, Arthur. So this is all about amplification here today. So what is one way that we as your community can amplify your business today?
Thank you. So I think mainly for us, the biggest one is finding warm introductions to potential partners with farms or strategic partners for us. So that's mainly with companies in the agricultural space. Whether or not they actually have farms, that doesn't matter too much to us. And then the other part is really we're looking for great engineers who are interested in sustainability and agriculture. So if you know anyone or you are somebody who may be interested in what we do, we'd love to connect.
Okay, and is that within Canada only, or is this global?
This is global, especially because of COVID and the remote work situation.
Yes. Okay, perfect. And also partners as well?
Yes, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and so what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they like what you just said and they want to directly connect?
Got it. I will paste our email as well as my LinkedIn in the YouTube chat, and that way you can connect.
Cool. You can also go to verityegg.com. You can hang out with Arthur and the team on Twitter at irrigationai and on LinkedIn at verity-ag, I believe. Yes. Okay.
You got
Perfect.
it.
Perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
All righty. So our second pitcher up today is Rema. Rema is the COO and co-founder of Striken Live. We've also seen before, but I think it was also a year ago, a few months ago. And so excited to see what you have here today for us. So Rema is joining us from London, UK, not Ontario. And an exciting win that Striken Live has had is that since they last pitched with us, they have had over 120 clients sell live with them and had a great run over the festive period over many streams. So that's exciting. They were even recently featured in a small business magazine with stories about their clients and about their clients' experiences using Striken Live. So if you want to jump in and YouTube at some point, Rema, and if there's a link to that article from that business magazine, I don't know if there is, but it would be really cool to see that. I think we also have potentially an article with you on our blog, I think.
Yes, you do. That's
we
right.
do. We do, yes. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, Rema. So whenever you're ready, feel free to share your screen, take a deep breath, and start your pitch.
1 minute. Great. All right. Hi, my name is Rema, and I'm the co-founder of Striken Live, the community-centered live marketplace. So we are the live shopping experience that are bringing together small businesses and the people who love them. Interact with your favorite independent businesses and shop with us live and in real time. So we have brought together a combined understanding of people and technology to build our human-centered marketplace. I understand human behavior and interactions, and I'm the people half of the operation. The tech half of the team, Theo, has a background in ad tech and e-commerce and has single-handedly built the entire platform. So we know people buy from people. However, online e-commerce marketplaces are just long lists of products. Small businesses struggle to stand out and really struggle to communicate the passion and authenticity behind their products in this pretty boring format. So we combined live video and interactive shopping to let customers shop in person online with a better understanding of products and the people that they're buying from. So there's no download, no sign up. You type in shop.striken.com and you're straight then interacting with our community. Striken is built with a human connection of live video and creates an addictive shopping experience. There are real-time basket and stock updates and even little ping notifications saying that someone awesome's bought something to make you feel that sense of urgency and really want to buy as well. The sense of community and social shopping on Striken makes it loads of fun and makes people want to buy more. So using this tech, we have the ability to address a really big market opportunity with a TAM of £76 billion. Striken Live uses live technology on platforms like QVC and PopShop Live, and it also has the advantage of the community and the stickiness of a creative marketplace. So we've been onboarding sellers on Instagram and Etsy, and we also have gained strategic partnerships with business networks and marketplaces. In this, we're building a hub of creators who'll help bring on more sellers by word of mouth and network effects. We're charging a 15% commission, and this is our current market rate for online marketplaces that our sellers currently use. So we have gone from concept to an MVP generating early revenue in only a year, and we've had over 120 clients run live sales with us. The human and real element of live video gives our sellers insane conversion rates averaging at 8%. Some of the highest conversion rates we've learned are in niches. So this means that when we bring together people with certain particular interests with our community of people who like those interests and meet those needs, we're able to drive a high conversion.
30 seconds.
We've been completely bootstrapped so far, and we've grown to where we are with minimum total cost and all of our tech built in-house. We're now raising $250,000 pre-seed investment to help us lower our costs and accelerate our growth. So why should you strike now with Striking and back us? Over the last year, human behavior and communication has changed, and live video is now part of everyday life. Customers want to connect with the people they buy from, and the decline of physical stores sees a large potential for growth for us. So we're looking for introductions to investors who'd be excited by our vision and partnerships with business networks and other marketplaces who could have their sellers join our platform and see impact with us. Join our vision and help us put humans back at the center of the shopping experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rayma. Oh my gosh. Again, it feels like a different pitch to me. And it feels like you're more comfortable pitching. Is that right now?
Yeah, I think we have grown for a fair bit, and we're really confident in our go-to-market plan and what we achieved and where we're going. So it's all very exciting.
Yeah. No, I felt that. Okay, so I'm going to stop your sharing, but that was really exciting to see your pitch here today. Thank you so much. Okay, so I don't know who wants to go first this time. I will push it over to Frida. You can push it back like Paul did last time if you want to. But Frida, would you like to kick us off here?
Well, well done, Lemma. I think you're a very good salesperson, and it tells us why you are doing the marketplace platform. So you come across as somebody who is passionate about what they're doing. You are convinced. You really believe in your product. And so it's very easy to convince me. I also like, the fact that you're selling live videos and like the things that you want us to really capture. You keep repeating them. I like your kind of sense of humor where you say if you want to strike, and your company name is the same. So I think that's really coming out nicely. I also like your ask, and your revenue model was very, very clear. Maybe for the tips, I think you're a little bit too fast. So I would like you to slow down so that your audience or your customers or partners can really understand. So I think that's the best tip. I don't know, maybe it's me, Paul. Maybe it wasn't fast for you, but let's hear from you.
No, Frida, it wasn't just you. Don't worry. The pacing was a bit fast. I know that you're trying to stuff a lot of information into a shorter amount of time, so I get that. I guess I would just caution you that if you have a longer pitch opportunity, I don't mean this offensively by any means, but I suspect that you're a bit of a fast talker naturally, but I could be wrong. So I know I've talked to you about before in sessions and stuff like that. So I know that you have a tendency to talk a bit faster, and that happens also when you're really passionate and excited about something. So it's very natural for that to happen. So I would just caution you to be careful with that, especially if it's a longer situation. Like if it is a 5-minute pitch and you pitch at the same pace as you just did, that might be a bit too fast. So just kind of look at slowing that down a little bit. The only thing, again, amazing, just like Verdi, fantastic, like way to go. I comparing to when I first saw this, you guys were good at the beginning, but this is like, you guys have notched this up 3 levels since then. So that fantastic work. The only thing, and again, it did its job because it made me be like, I want to continue talking to her. I want to know more. How do I find out more? The one key thing that came to mind for me was you talked a lot at the end about future vision, and the vision is this, and the vision is that. I think what I was missing along with that was, if I'm looking at this from an investor perspective, I think part of that vision would have been good for me to see maybe some future vision projections. So tying this to something. So you're saying like, oh, we're raising, but I have to assume that the hope is that's going to drive your revenue up. And and it's, again, it went a bit fast at parts, so I might have missed it, but I didn't notice anything that showed, okay, what 250K is going to achieve this, right? And so of course, as an investor, I'm hoping what's going to achieve increased revenue. So what is the next, I think 5 years is probably a bit much, but even like say 2 to 3 year projections, even if you're just able to show something in there, if that makes sense. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, so we did have that actually, because we have a 5-minute pitch, so I just put it in my appendix for when you would ask me.
No, and that's perfect. That's for everybody in the room. That's a perfect strategy, like way to go, because like I said, it did its job. So then, of course, if you were in a Q&A forum, the first question, of course, the investor would say, "Oh, well, what are your future projections? I'm curious, right? Because I want to know more." And then if you're like, "Well, I have that right here," click, 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 and you go to the supplemental slides, and you look super smart as a result, right? But of course, in a longer pitch, in a 5-minute, make sure that's there. So what I'm saying is, great job.
Thank you.
Good work.
Awesome, thank you. And there's people in the chat saying, great job, great pitch. Someone has said here, let me give you a favorite sentence, which I love that people say to me as well. How come there isn't such a thing already? Which then made me realize, did you talk about your competitors?
Yeah, so I had it in our slide that puts what our position is, but again, we've got a very detailed competitor breakdown in our appendix slide to go through if we had questions for it.
Cool, thank you so much. Yeah, so go and hang out with those people on YouTube afterwards, and you can respond to them and connect with them. But otherwise, before I let you go, as I did with Arthur, I would love to know, what can we do here today as your community to amplify your business?
So currently we're really looking for investments. We're looking for our pre-seed. We kind of need to onboard and automate the whole platform and get many clients on, and that's what we're going for. The other thing we really like is also partnerships. One of our key models to growth is getting partnerships with other creator marketplaces and small business groups, and we're looking to get anyone on.
Cool.
Can you name any? Like, what would be an ideal or dream?
Well, it's I don't know, someone like Etsy, but they're big. But so currently, like we're partnered with the UK counterpart of Etsy. So someone like that, or like a business mentor that has a group of small businesses under them who we could work with as well.
Perfect.
Cool. Right. Thank you. So if someone's listening here today and it's like, yes, I know exactly who to introduce you to, how can they get in touch with you?
So I can pop I'm popping my LinkedIn here, and I might pop it in the comment section on YouTube as well. And I'll pop our investor landing page on there, and our details are on there as well.
Perfect. All right. And everyone watching here today, or if you're watching later, you can also go to striken.com. I have /getthedeck. Is that right? Yes? Yeah. Okay, perfect. And you can also hang out with them on Instagram and Twitter at Strykin Live, and that's STRYKIN Live. So thank you so much, Rema, for being here today. It was really great to see your pitch here again. I feel like this is like an alumni showcase in some ways. It's very cool, like the progression in such a short amount of time. I don't think we usually see that. I feel like everyone's just doing like so many of these pitches now or something. It's incredible. So thank you so much, Rema. Alrighty. So our third pitcher here today that I'm going to welcome to the stage is Charles, and Charles is the CEO and co-founder of Off the Grid. He is joining us from Montreal, Quebec, here in Canada. And I have an exciting piece of news about Off the Grid, which is that they have been included in sports technology. Is it sportstechnologyblog.com?
Yeah, sure. It was relevant.
Okay, I feel like it was maybe misspelled on my notes here, but it's a sportstechnologyblog.com, something to that effect, list of the top 5 sports tech of 2021. Alrighty, so I'm excited to learn why you're on that list as well. And because I don't think I've seen you pitch before. I know that Paul has seen you at the SDG pitch, but I was on the Poverty and Gender Equity Day, so I didn't get to see yours. So excited to see that. Okay, so once you're ready, feel free to share your screen and take that deep breath and get going. And I can actually hear someone's YouTube in the background, so if anyone's watching YouTube, please mute that. Okay.
All right. So hi everyone, my name is Charles. I'm CEO and co-founder at Off the Grid. So my father retired quite young at 52. And as much as we love sports in our family, we sure love beer. So to get back in shape, he decided to start working out a lot. And that's the moment when he realized that all of his energy was kind of wasted. For a 1 hour workout, he spent about 300 watts of energy per hour, which is equivalent to recharging 30 cell phones. So we founded Off the Grid to offer a commercial spinning bike that transformed this wasted energy into electricity. How does it work? It's super simple. So Paul, you will just hop on the bike and perform your usual training as with any spinning bike. The energy that is traded is then transformed into electricity using our technology and is then used directly back into the grid of the gym or your building. So this reduces the energy consumption in real time without the need for a battery. The bikes come with a mobile application that that allows the user to keep history of their performance and participate in challenges and rewards. So for example, a gym owner or a CEO could offer a reward to the department that generate the most electricity this week. Using only 8 of the grid bikes correspond to reducing the ecological footprint of a gym by more than 2 tons of CO2 per year. But above all, we're really proud to say that we are able to offer a bike that was made and assembled locally. Before the pandemic, we were only targeting gyms. The current situation has forced us to assess new markets. So right now, we are currently focusing on schools and businesses after great interest from their part. On the long term, we want to focus on the European market, where the price of electricity is 8 to 10 times higher than here. Our revenue model is quite simple. So we make a direct sale of the bike to the clients, which retail at $3,000. The customer pays a monthly amount for the app, but it's always free for the end user. So far, we've been through 2 incubators and the X1 accelerator of McGill. This resulted in over $500,000 in letter of intent and $3,000 in non-dilutive financing. Last week, we just launched our crowdfunding campaign, and we're already at 80% of our goal. This will allow us to commercialize the product this summer. You can check the campaign on lafiche.com. So next September, we'll be raising a pre-seed. If you're interested, contact us at the address in the next slide. It will be your chance to work out with a team fully committed to reach the goal of reducing the ecological footprint of every workout. Thank you.
Nicely done, Charles. Thank you so much. Oh, that's exciting. I had no idea in my brain Off the Grid wasn't associated with sports equipment, and I love that. It's very cool. And okay, so before what am I doing here? Paul, that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna invite you to provide your feedback.
Yeah. Again. My gosh, this is, I feel bad for people who are going to be voting afterwards because I don't know how they're going to vote, to be very honest, at this point, because I also have heard Ashley's pitch before, as well as Yanni's, and yikes. So fantastic work. The thing that kind of, okay, so as I understand it, you're selling the bikes to commercial spaces, right? So this isn't B2C, this is B2B.
Exactly.
Which is fine. I guess this is a tough one because it's not really feedback. It's kind of a feedback question. The thing that crossed my mind, and it's probably something you've been asked before, because I know you're no stranger to this, you've been doing it for a while. So I guess the question is like, how big is your market if you consider that a lot of B2B spaces probably already have equipment? So like, and so now I think the challenge for me is I'm worried that I'm getting kind of into the nitty gritty, because in part, like, I guess what it was leading me with is, you know, okay, well, if a commercial space already has bikes, there's probably a limited market space for you. So I'm not sure about the market size. I guess I'm a little bit concerned for you, but also questioning that. So like, yeah, is there, and maybe the answer is as simple as like, oh, well, we've discovered that every year the commercial spaces we're working with replace their equipment. So we're just getting in front of them before they do the replacement. So we're top of mind. Like, I'm not sure what the answer there is. And I know this isn't a Q&A, but that's the things that kind of is coming to my mind. And I don't know if that needs to be answered in the pitch going forward. So maybe just like if it was me and I was to include something in the pitch, it might be just something to say what your sales funnel looks like.
Awesome.
I think that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Frida, how about yourself?
Well, great pitch, Charles, and I think a great product. I think it's nice that I'm here. You know, there are different things happening, and I mean the opportunities are limitless. So, well, I think what's unique about your pitch is that you personalize to your product. You know, you start by saying your family, you're working out as a family, and you got tired. And you personalize that again by saying, you know, these bikes are assembled locally. So I think that's something unique that we, you know, I mean, something coming up unique. And that's really a good point. I think it's a fantastic product. The only problem I have, you know, I'm looking at the technical side, and I like what Paul said, you know, what's the market size? What will be your uptake? What's the customer's uptake of your products? I'm looking at the technical side. What if your potential customers already have you know, some form of energy, other forms of energy? You know, how are you going to convince them? You know, this is good for them. This is good for the environment. So I think those are the questions that are in my mind. But nothing wrong with your business model. It's clear. I like your revenue models. I'm a financial person, so that's why I'm really, the first thing I look at is your business model, and I look up at your products, you know, customer uptake, and then I look at your revenues, your revenue model. Yeah, I think it was great, but like Paul, I think those are the questions that we have.
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback.
Great. Thank you so much, Frida and Paul. So all about the numbers. Alrighty. So thank you so much, Charles. And again, before I let you escape, being our Amplify event, I would love to know, how can the community here today support you in amplifying your business?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, we're live on our crowdfunding campaign on lariche.com. So it's kind of a Kickstarter, but for Quebec business. So don't hesitate to go check out the campaign, participate, or share with your network. It will be super appreciated.
Amazing. Okay. And if you could share the link to that, if you haven't already, if you want to jump in YouTube and can share that link in there, that would be fantastic. And we'll make sure to get that out as well. So awesome. Really great. And if someone wants to connect with you directly, how would they do that?
You can contact us directly on our website, which is getoffthegrid.ca, or you can email me at shal@getoffthegrid.ca. Okay, perfect. And you can also hang out with the team on Instagram at offthegrid.mtl for Montreal, or at on LinkedIn, also at offthegridmtl. So go hang out with them, go like, share all the things, and hear what they're up to. And thank you so much, Charles, for being here today and sharing your pitch with us. It's very interesting. Very exciting. I love seeing things like this. Alrighty. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Our fourth pitcher here today. So we have Ashley Stone, who's the CEO and founder of, is it the Village app or just Village app?
The Village app, either or.
Okay, either or, the Village app. So Ashley's joining us from Kelowna, BC here today, which is just a few hours drive from Vancouver, for those who aren't familiar. 3-hour drive. It is not snowing there today, I've heard, which is surprising. Beautiful day. And the Village app. So something exciting about this company here today is that they recently launched an MVP and auditioned for Dragon's Den. All right, last time we saw you, you were about to audition for Dragon's Den. And they're hopeful they will get a call mid-March about appearing on the show. So let's just send some good Dragon's Den vibes Ashley's way. That's very exciting. Okay, so Ashley, when you're ready, feel free to share your screen. Take that deep breath.
And I just say these are some tough acts to follow. My goodness.
It's incredible. Yeah, I'm super impressed.
Yeah, it's just like it's everyone's doing great.
Yeah, they really are. And honestly, like I was saying, this is our 102nd, and we've seen like the caliber. I don't know if it's because we've gone international or it's because startup ecosystems have really like built up over the last few years in different areas. But we've seen like the caliber has really, really increased over the years, I found. I don't know if that's just me, or the kind of people who are attracted to these kinds of events, but either way, everyone here today has been fantastic. Alrighty, Ashley.
All right. So hi, my name's Ashley Stone and I am the founder of the Village app. So I keep hearing it takes a village to raise a kid. Do they just show up? Is there a number I call? I think they're having trouble finding me. So this is exactly how I felt a couple years ago when my surprise third pregnancy turned out to be twins. I found myself alone with 4 young kids as my husband works out of town. There wasn't a lack of people offering me help, but asking and connecting with them was tricky and time consuming. Not being able to connect with a genuinely supportive network isn't a problem unique to me, but part of a bigger global problem, which is the collapse of our village. This has led to an epidemic of loneliness and a mental health crisis, which costs our healthcare system $51 billion a year. So our solution is the Village app, which unlike other apps, our goal is to get you off your phone and engaging with your community. Village uses needs-based notifications so you can ask for help efficiently. There's no group messaging, no comment section, and no need to justify an ask. Requests get sent to curated circles of supporters so that grandma isn't getting a message when a couch needs to be moved. We know that not everybody has a support network nearby, so they can build one using our friend finder or our nearby neighbor features. Village will also extend to be used within community organizations so that they can create a profile, gather supporters, and directly notify them when a need arises, like if the food bank is low on diapers. Our initial target demographic will be families, community newcomers, volunteers, and community organizations. We plan to partner with local groups and have had interest with groups like churches, and we are going to acquire customers through those groups as well as early invites from our early adopters. We also plan to do traditional marketing as creatively as possible, like this poster that says take what you need, and it's a pull tab poster. I hung it locally downtown, and this was the only one left out of 4 that still had a tab left on it when I went to go look back. Our revenue model, we have a free version because we want Village to be accessible. But for $3 a month, you can upgrade to our premium version, which unlocks certain limitations and features. The vendors are professional businesses like electricians or plumbers who can essentially advertise their services. And then there's the organization fee for those people who can gather their supporters. We are currently testing our MVP amongst our team, and we plan to launch a pilot project locally of at least 2,000 people to gain feedback before building out our fully commercial version, which will launch this summer.
30 seconds.
So there's me. I am a registered nurse of 11 years with a specialty in public health. My partner, Karen, has over 25 years experience growing startups and delivering shareholder value. She is also the CEO of our development company and partner, which is Atomic 47 Labs. Atomic 47 has invested $150,000 so far to bring it to MVP, and we are currently asking for $500,000 in exchange for 20% of our company, and we will use that most to expand our team as well as for some marketing. And that is that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ashley. And we saw you only a few weeks ago, and yet I still feel like your pitch has actually changed quite a bit.
It has. So. I took a lot of your feedback. I cleaned it up. You know, I didn't want everybody to see the baby, as Paul says. You got to see the baby, you know, just focus on those high level features as much as possible. So.
Amazing. Cool. All right. So I was going to go over to our finance expert here in the room first. Frida, if you would like to jump in with your feedback for Ashley.
Wow. A nice pitch, Ashley.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed because your market size, you've done a good market research. So from the figures, from how you tell it, it looks like, yeah, I can buy it. You know, so, and I really like traction, you know, how you showed your traction, your MVP, you know, the far you've come, the funding that you need. Yeah. So I like it. I like the way you structured your pitch. I'm just thinking around, you know, what was missing. I saw a great team. So yeah, I may not have a lot of tips, but I realize you're under pressure a little bit. Or maybe it's how you talk.
I do talk fast.
Or it's time pressure. I think it's time pressure, Isabel. go slow on them. Yeah, but apart from that, I think the speed and try to relax a little bit. Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I had the benefit of seeing you. It seems like a while ago, but I know it was only a little while ago. But there's really, I mean, you again, same as everybody else, you kind of ticked all the boxes, you filled all the buckets. There was only a couple like super minor little things that I was curious about. I'm wondering if anybody has given you any feedback at this point about having something like ITAV development. At the beginning, it says ITAV development presents. Just from an investor standpoint, I've had, over the last 15 years, I've heard a lot of feedback sometimes and a little bit of pushback in seeing something like that.
Okay.
Because it starts raising questions of like, well, who am I actually investing in? Like, am I investing in ITAV development? Who owns the IP? Who owns, right? Like who's really the owner here? Like, am I going to be investing in ITAV, or am I investing in Village? And is her concentration elsewhere? Like, is ITAV, because it makes me start questioning, like, is ITAV a development firm, and then this is just a project off the side of her desk that she's kind of building up? And it seems, I'm not saying that's the case, Ashley. I'm just saying, like, these are the questions that start filling investors' minds, especially those who might not know you, right?
Yeah.
So, and the worry, I'm just from a pitch and presentation feedback standpoint or coaching standpoint, what I would say to you then is, I would say, well, it's probably best not to go there, because the challenge is if they're starting to think that way, a lot of investors get caught up on that stuff. And especially if it's at the beginning, what will happen is they won't listen to you anymore, right? Because they'll be asking, how humans are, right? That they'll start thinking to themselves like, well, what if? Well, what about this? And what about this? And I wonder. And then before they know it, you're halfway through your pitch and they're like, oops, I totally missed the rest, right? And it's funny how these little things make a big difference. So that might be something you just want to consider, because you're pitching Village.
Yeah.
So if it was me, I would just pitch Village. I would leave out any reference to any other businesses at this point. That stuff can come out in due diligence, right? Okay. Where you can say like, oh yeah, the owner of the IP is actually ITAV Development, and Village is a property of the company, and that's what we're getting investment in, or however that looks like. Okay. Yep. So just so you're aware. And then the only question that came to mind, which might be more of a conversational thing afterwards, is it started making me wonder how this is moderated. So how do you prevent weirdos, for lack of a better term, or the crazies or things like that? So yeah, and I don't know if that's something you really need to mention. You might even just say in the pitch that we have a moderator that will watch it, or something like that. It's always a concern with these kinds of communities.
For sure.
Is how is that? Because that's one of the big problems with Craigslist, right? Is you could technically do this on Craigslist, but you get a lot of strange, weird, unvetted, unverified, right? So is this, I think I would love to see an answer to that. So like, are you verifying the users in some way? Is it community vetted? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there, but it might be good, especially if you're pitching to investors. I think that's going to be a risk item that they're going to possibly bring up. So even if it's not in the pitch, have an answer at the ready.
I have many answers.
Okay. I have many answers. I like that. I have many answers.
I think Frida also wanted to come off mute here. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul reminds me of something, when you were pitching, and I was like, did you say that no commenting or no? I heard something like no commenting, and I'm like, it's a community, it's supposed to be interactive and all that. So I think that also confused me.
Yeah, no comment section is what I said, because it's a notification based. So you're not interacting with all the people at once, you're interacting with individuals essentially.
So it's peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
In other words, like I would, if Frida posted, I would only communicate with Frida. It wouldn't be like Melanie and Ashley and Arthur could suddenly come in and start commenting as well.
If you think of like a blind CC email, everybody gets the same message, but nobody knows who got that message. And when you're responding to that message, it only goes back to that one person.
Gotcha. Right.
Yeah, and maybe another point is like having a reward system, or is it called a reward system? But it's like points of confidence to community members. I think that's
yeah, we do in our full version. We will have that for sure.
Yeah. Great, thank you so much, both of you. There was something actually that came up in the pitch that I wanted to ask Paul and Frida about, because we get this question all the time. So I saw that you mentioned that you were raising and you'd be giving 20% equity, and so I was wondering. I know Paul's kind of take on including that kind of point in the pitch, typically what his response is, but I'd be curious also, Frida, like, would you typically suggest people having that like 20% equity in their pitch?
No, it doesn't sound realistic. I think that also closed me. I didn't see that. Yeah, because then the investors, I mean, it doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound, I mean, you rather sell it to me with other things like, good revenue projections, good pricing models, all those things. But yeah, I don't give percentages.
Okay.
I would say, Paul, I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
But,
Paul, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I have canvassed, I'm going to say at this point, I've probably canvassed about 100 to 105 or 110 investors over the past 10 years asking this exact question. And I'm going to say the response is about 50%, 50-50 either way. I think it depends on the type of investor. A lot of the ones I know would say and agree with me, especially at early stages, not to do it, because it's kind of a negotiable, right? It's a variable, because that means you're stamping down. I mean, yeah, there's something to be said about stamping down your foot on a valuation, but at the end of the day, what you're trying to create with a pitch is a conversation, right? So if you're going into a pitch scenario, unless they require you, like Dragon's Den, of course, unless they require you to say a percentage, that's a little bit different. But if it's not a requirement, I would usually not include it, because then it's something you talk about in the conversation after, right? It's part of the, let's call it a due diligence conversation, but the post conversations, because like it's one of those things where I might say, oh, well, I disagree a little bit. And in fact, I've even seen situations where an investor will evaluate even better, and they might say, well, actually, I'm only going to take 18%, right? So, depending on all those outlays, and there's all these like variables and all that stuff. It's much different when you get to VC level and like Series A, Series B. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely include it in there. But at that point, you usually have a pretty set valuation. So it's easier to do. But at early stages, it's very negotiable and kind of a variable still. So usually I say don't recommend it unless you have to, like Dragon's Den or where it's required.
Great. Awesome.
Thank
you so much. We get that question so often. I wanted to pose that. Not to put yours on the spot, Ashley, we see it all the time. So Ashley, before I let you go here, what can we as your community do to amplify your business today?
I think the amplify word is exactly like what we're looking for. We need, once we launch like wider, we need users, right? This isn't going to work without people on it. So definitely people can go to our website at thevillageapp.co to sign up to be part of our subscribing list, and that will automatically give them the information of when we launch. And we need investment as well, and partnerships with community groups. We really think that's going to be a huge way how we grow by using their organic networks. So if anybody has any good partnerships with large community networks, we'd love to talk to you.
Okay, and how can people connect with you directly then?
Ashley at thevillageapp.co is how you will find me, and I am the one behind all of our social media. So if you message me on social media, it's me who you get. So
perfect. All right. Thank you so much, Ashley. You can also, speaking of social media, you can go over to Facebook or Instagram and like and comment and all the things on thevillageapp.co. There are also some comments over on YouTube. Ashley, if you want to go check those out. Some people asking about COVID context, which I'm sure you have a very good answer for. So if you want to head over there and chat with them, thank you so much again for being here today. Alrighty, so last but not least, we have our fifth pitcher here today. We have Yanni, who is joining us also from Vancouver. Yanni is the CEO and founder of Newsly. And I do have a little piece of exciting news, which is that Newsly has been chosen both to the Startup Hill list of best news startups and the Boov magazine list. And I don't know what those are, but I'm going to check them out, and I hope everyone else does as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us here today. And whenever you're ready, feel free to share your screen and take that big breath and start your pitch.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
See the presentation? Hear me?
Yeah.
Let's start. Okay, so I'm Yoni, and I'm the CEO of Newsly, an audio news and content aggregator mobile application. Look at all those people working out, commuting, doing house chores. They are all listening to audio. They want to stay mobile while consuming content, hands-free, legs-free, eyes-free. The spoken audio market, that means audiobooks and especially podcasts, is growing at an amazing rate of 30% a year. Audio is the king. But how do people consume content? Either in a non-audio way, browsing their life away, right? Or it could be audio, but then it's either non-personalized like radio or non-topical like podcasts. Therefore, we had to make an audio news and content aggregator mobile application. It will get you the most trending articles in any given moment, read them to you with a natural human voice using AI technology. So this is the magic. You can see the most trending articles on the entire web at any given moment, and they can be all read to you. Just add to your playlists whatever interests you from the relevant country, from the trending articles, or from the topic of your interest, and play. You can get full screen mode and even open the original URL for all-star browsing. The app is already on both App and Play Store. Although we haven't officially launched, somehow the buzz around the company made us grow by 50% in the last few months. And this is before any PR has done. We're constantly talking to our customers, and we know that they love the app. User can either listen for free with audio ads or erase the paywalls and get extra feature for as low as $10 a month. Digital newspaper is 32 billion market. Podcast is 4 billion market. Podcasts are very similar. Podcast users are very similar to ours. That is why we are going to advertise in podcasts, advocating for our app download. Competitors, some have news aggregation capabilities, some even audio capabilities, but none have the ability not only to identify the most trending URLs, but also read naturally only the relevant content.
30 seconds.
As I stated, we plan to invest in advertising for our app on podcasts, which have an amazing conversion rate, but would have even a higher conversion rate for us, considering the similarity of our users. Would get us to 28 million revenue per year within 2 years. The team, Darren, my friend from UBC, main programmer, the other programmers, and the digital marketer. I'm Yoni. I quit my job and moved to the other side of the world with my wife and 4 daughters, dedicating myself to Newsly. It seems also Newsly is getting the academic world excited. We have 8 joint ventures with universities in North America, like UBC and others, doing software, machine learning, and marketing for us. We're looking to raise $595,000 for marketing and further development. Thank you. Please download and try our app.
Thank you so much, Yanni. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I can't recall if I'd seen yours before, so it was great to hear about Newsly. I've heard about Newsly somehow, and even before, I think, before you have done any kind of pitching that I've maybe been around for. So thank you so much. I am going to just close down participant sharing so we can see the beautiful faces of our panelists. And I'm going to flip this to Paul, if you'd like to start us off. Oh, no, I think he has something going on.
No, I couldn't get back to Zoom. I flipped to a different screen just to get rid of something, and then I couldn't get back.
Oh, and
to
it made it
Zoom.
super
So
small, and you couldn't open it.
I couldn't even get it. Like I had to like close
In
everything
there.
just to get it back up. Anyways, I really appreciate that you told me that I have a beautiful face. So that's one really nice thing. The second one is, again, fantastic pitch. These all 5 are wow, ridiculously good. And Yanni, I know for us it's been a long time because I talked to you a long time ago. And I think even when I originally talked to you, you were literally just building this, if I remember right. So congratulations on all the progress and what you've achieved to this point. That's fantastic. And I'm so proud of you and happy to see that. I'm proud of all of you to see all the progress you've been making. I have a couple of like really, again, super minor things. These aren't even like huge things. Something I would super recommend. You've got like on the bottom of your slides, you've got kind of a contact info bar at the very bottom of your slides. I would recommend get rid of that. It's not necessary on the slides up until the end when you give us your contact information. The problem that I was having is that actually it was making your slides busier, and it was actually detracting from the content above it. So I would just get rid of that contact info bar, honestly. It's not necessary at that point. And then this is actually, I'm gonna throw this over to Frida, not to try to put her on the spot, but I'm curious of her opinion, because I'm a bit torn, and I'm wondering if we can come to a consensus. The thing I'm torn about is that in the slides, there was a part where you talked about the market size. Now, here's the thing that I've learned over the years is, and an investor friend of mine said this to me one time. He said to me, nobody comes into a pitch with a small market size. Everybody's market size is huge, and that's not the competition. So the thing that I'm torn about is I feel like I'd rather see your future plans and future growth and i.e. projections. So how you're going to capture that market and what that looks like rather than the size of the market, if that makes sense. But again, I'm torn. So I'm curious what Frida would have to say that, not to try to put her on the spot, but I'm just trying to see if we're on the same page or if I'm like totally off my rocker.
No, absolutely. Okay, first of all, Yoni, it was a great pitch. It was very clear where you're ending. You've done a lot of homework. You've established a big network and good partnerships. I think that will go forward. But the numbers are alarming. I agree with Paul. Not just the market size, but also the revenues. They look too ambitious. So of course we need to zero in the market size. That's the secret. I like that you bring up the competitors. That's very nice. But the market says you rather zero in. Have a small starting point. Don't underrate it, but have a realistic. The real word is realistic. Market size, and show us how you will build it up, right? The same as revenues. Your revenue is 28 million in the first year. Dollars, and that just spikes me like, okay, wow, is it a jackpot? So Paul, you're right, and I think you're gonna work on that because everything else looks perfect. It's just how you present, and like Paul said, the things, if you flash out things on the screen that are ramming, then I stop listening to you. I stop digging deeper, and I switch off. So that's the thing. Also, the business model actually, and I think you showed a slide, but I thought it wasn't sufficient. So if you can spend more time explaining the business model, the revenue model, then it can really, I can be convinced that you're going to achieve the revenues that you project. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice, but I think just a few things on your presentation that could be running.
Yeah, I guess I would just love to see that narrative carried through. Is like you did a really good job of saying like, oh, hey, here's our business model, right? But then you kind of, if I remember right, then it kind of went to the market size, or it might have been the other way around. I don't remember exactly now at this point. But like I would just love to see that narrative carried through, right? Like, here's our business model, and then here's what we're going to do with it. And then what's great is that I'll tie back your ask will get tied back to that, because they'll say, now we're raising approximately 600K to move towards that plan, right? Because that's ultimately what an investor wants to see, is that you have a plan to execute, and that you're going to execute the plan, right? And yeah, not everything goes according to plan, COVID, but like, you know, how does that look going forward in the future? Because now as an investor, when I hear that story, I'm like, okay, awesome. Like I'm putting in money, but I know what they're going to do with it, right? And what it's going to achieve. So I think that's really good. Everybody's market size is huge.
Thank you so much, Paul and Frida. And I think it's really interesting to kind of hear what Frida mentioned, which is that when there's something on a page that distracts you, as humans, we then kind of like veer off into that land. And then when we come back to feedback, they're just like zoned in on, this is the thing I remember most, is that you didn't communicate this piece. And you don't want to leave that kind of feeling there. And I know like what Paul is talking about, the contact bar might seem really small, but I will say, from my perspective on the design element, it was very, very busy. And so you want to minimize that as much as possible. Even something as little, seemingly little, as taking out that contact element at the bottom. And even, I don't know if you have a designer on your team who can help you kind of with your deck itself, which again seems small, but it is going to help a lot with simplifying and helping people not get distracted, but rather have your deck serving you and serving that purpose of building that narrative behind you. So yeah, I always find it really interesting hearing what our panelists kind of zero in on, and it kind of gives you that insight into what is distracting them while you're pitching as well. So thank you so much, Yanni. And I know that you have been posting everywhere around. Please go and check out the mobile app, which is on newsly.page.lig/TG78. You might have to put that.
You can just go to newsly.me.
Okay, perfect. I was going to say, you're going to have to copy and paste that somewhere. So other than that, other than going to newsly.me, is that what you just said?
Yeah. So you mentioned the few lists that we were on, and you know what? That's the thing I like about the consumer market. Like, nobody cares. Like, just try the app. The app like sells itself. Try it and tell to your friends. And if you're asking about how can you guys help with Amplify, so we're looking mainly for users. So any PR that can be done, hopefully like an interview, like newspaper interview, a magazine interview, a podcast interview, that would be very helpful for us. So.
Amazing. Okay, and how can people get in touch with you personally if they want to hook you up with some PR?
LinkedIn probably would be the best.
The best place, yeah.
Yeah, or send to info@newsly.me by email.
Perfect. Okay, so you can also head over to Twitter at Newsly13 or Instagram at Newsly Me app and check them out there and like, share, and all the things. Go check out the app, give your feedback. It'd also be really cool to hear like customer stories. You're saying that customers love your app, and I was like, I want to hear more about that. That would have been really cool to hear. So thank you so much, Yanni. Really appreciate you being here today. Yes, so please, yes, pitchers, turn on your videos, and we are going to be wrapping up here today. But before we do, as everyone knows, we are going to have our what am I trying to say? We're going to be voting on the top pitch is what I'm trying to say. Isabel, over to you.
Am I on? I'm off mute, correct? Yes, I can't see myself. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Melanie said, we are now going to do the top pitch voting. So if you want to head over to buzzit.ca, put in Amplify Feb, and choose your top pitch for the day. It's going to be very difficult. The caliber of pitches was incredible. So while everyone is doing that, I'm just going to let you guys know what events we have coming up in the next month. So starting tomorrow, we are launching a new expert guest series called Off Meet with Mel. So Melanie will be hosting this. She's going to be interviewing Dr. Cecilia Basic on women in inventorship. So that will also be live streamed on YouTube. It's at tomorrow, 10 a.m. PST. And that'll be about a 30-minute sort of fireside chat. So check that out. As always, we have our IG Lives every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. PST. And next Tuesday, we will be having Laura Malcolm from Give in Kind on our Instagram. And then for our next Amplify, so Amplify in March will be Amplify Women's Pitch. So we're focusing on entrepreneurial women around the globe. And that is going to be sponsored by Startup Canada. And applications are open. And then our next Amplify in April will be focusing on clean, green, and sustainable startups. So both of those Eventbrites are live, and we'll be linking them in the chat. So if you'd like to apply to pitch for either of them, all the information can be found on the Eventbrite page. And that's kind of all the events we have coming up so far. I'm going to stop sharing so I can check on the voting. Also just realized my screen is on.
Thank you so much, Isabel. All right, so Isabel's going to be hanging out and checking out the votes. I wanted to at this time invite Frida. Did you have anything, any kind of like last tips or comments or anything that you'd like to share here today? Not to put you on the spot, but
actually, I was just trying to vote and I can't open the web. I don't know, my internet probably. I have it's so difficult to choose the winner for us, especially me and Paul and Mel. But yeah, I wish you all the best. Yeah, so just a word of encouragement. I know, the startup journey is really, it can be a lonely journey. But I think with all the efforts that we've made, I think it's all mostly dependent on you and the team. You have a strong team behind it, people that you share the same vision, and you keep going for the goal. Going for your main goal, I call it. I would say, sometimes we can give you feedback. Investors can say no, but in the end, it's you. And I think from what Paul and Mel are saying, the most of you have come a long way, from the first pitch to today. It's already shown that you have the resilience to keep going. So so just to tell you, soldier on. Of course, feedback is good, but still the driver is the main determinant. And I wish you all the best. Thank you. It's a bit late in Nairobi, so I'm feeling. I hope I'm saying something. But all the best to you all. Yeah.
Amazing. And is there anywhere people can go to learn more about ZD Circle?
Yes, of course. LinkedIn, we are visible, ZD Circle. Twitter, ZD Circle. At ZD03. What is it called? This other Facebook app, because we have Facebook ZD Circle, and the other one that is and of course our website now we are rebranding and doing things, so our website now is also on transition. But I'd love to have you guys over into our we have pitches, pitch competitions, we have boot camps. You should give it a trial. I'm gonna connect with all of you on LinkedIn. My name is Frida Tarangwe, so if we can chit chat, I can invite you to also showcase your startups.
Cool. And ZD
I'll
Circles.
get you partners. Also, especially to those looking for partnerships, and of course, I'm also an investor. So let's keep in touch.
Yeah, and ZD Circle has grown so much over the past 6 to 8 months in particular. It sounds like 2021 is just gonna explode with being virtual and being able to bring people in from all over, not just Amsterdam. So that's really cool.
And actually, Mary, we've just launched a program in Nairobi. We have a tech partner now, so we will also, focus mainly on technology and solutions, tech for good.
Amazing.
So yeah, so good things are happening. Let's connect. Thank you.
Congratulations. Very exciting. Thank you so much, Frida. Isabel, how are we doing?
I have the winner, so I'm just going to send it to you now.
Alrighty, thank you. Okie dokie. So Paul, I'm going to invite you. We have tried many times to say the winner at the same time, or the top pitch at the same time, and it inevitably fails every single time, just dramatically fails. So I'm gonna let Paul do this solo.
1 minute, I have to vote.
Nope.
It's still...
I think it's closed.
It's closed. Okay then.
That one vote. Oh.
That one vote. Yeah, it's fine.
Actually, I don't know how
No,
far off the
fine.
first
I
was.
think- I don't know why
It would have changed everything.
It may have.
Everyone is a winner.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody is a winner. So I am very excited to announce that the top voted pitcher for today's Amplify is, oh, there's a drum roll. I love it. Arthur Chen from Verdi. Nice. Wow.
Nicely done.
Thank you, everyone.
Arthur.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you have any last words that you'd like to? Any tips? How do you keep winning first? I think Yanni was saying you won first at another pitch competition that he was also a part of. What is your secret, Arthur?
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I really know, but I think one is just pitch as much as you can. I think definitely, and our pitch has changed a lot, as I think Paul and Isabel have mentioned, since I think even the last time we pitched at Volition. But there's been times when we got a lot of bad feedback in our pitch, and so I think it's really like the more you pitch, the more you'll hear what works and what doesn't work. You'll even get kind of roughed up a little bit by investors who are kind of on you. But I think those are all really good experiences, and like you gain a lot of you can improve your pitch a lot if you just practice it a lot and get a lot of feedback.
Thank you so much.
I think it was Elon Musk. I might be quoting the wrong person, but I think he said something during the SpaceX program of every failure is a learning opportunity. So I always think of that, right? Like now in his case, he gets to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make failures, but eventually he's been successful, clearly. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Way to go. Congratulations.
Yeah, amazing. And
Thank
you can also see more from Arthur and learn more about it. I believe that we have an IG Live somewhere over on YouTube or some such place that you can check out. I don't know if we have the link for that, but yeah, it's very cool. Okay. Is that I can't remember how we finish these typically. I am extremely jet lagged. I am so sorry, everyone. I just came back to Vancouver and this is my sleeping time. So I don't think I missed anything, but I think everyone did such an incredible job. It was such a pleasure and a privilege to be here and listening to your pitches and seeing them evolve and getting to meet some people that I haven't met before. I always love these events so much, and really appreciate it, and appreciate Frida, you being here today. I know there's lots of time zone kind of like me as well, kind of time zones all over the place, and really appreciate you being here and spending time with us here today. Of course, Paul as well, one of my favorite people, spent time with us here today. Thank you so much. Isabel already shared our upcoming events. I hope to see you all hopefully tomorrow. And if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, please do so. But tomorrow we have our first ever Off Mute with Mel, talking about women in inventorship, and particularly why women who are inventors do not seem to file for patents quite so much. And that's kind of like on a global kind of scale. So we're going to talk about that. It's very interesting to me. So Paul, yeah, I'm sure you have something you want to wrap up with as well. I see you're off mute, so please take us home.
Oh, actually, no, that was by accident. But no, I will say congratulations, everyone. I'm again super proud of you guys, and it's an honor to get to see your guys' incredible progress. So keep it up. And as always, you know how to get a hold of me if you ever need any help or need to chat. I guess I'm like your local startup therapist. So just, reach out and let me know if you ever need help, and I'm happy to help however I can.
Amazing. And thank you everyone in the audience who joined us, whether you're joining us live or later on. Really appreciate you being here, helping amplify these businesses. We're going to be sharing on social those kind of like how you can help amplify them content. So please also share that out and reach out to them. It's always really helpful at every stage of building a business, but at this stage to really provide that kind of support. So thanks everyone. I'm going to stop sharing on YouTube. So we will see you here next time. Thanks everyone.